You sushi'd your ass off tonight. That is a story begging to be told.
It was so
He's
good.
sashaying it off.
It was payday, and I said,
Jambalaya.
how about all the raw fish you can do? And so she put on her tightest dress, and she went on down there, and we stuffed our little fat faces full of sushi. It's great.
So tuna's your thing?
Bluefin, specifically. Actually, in the bar, they call me Mr. Bluefin.
All right. Yeah. I have a thing.
Except they say it like this, Mr. Bluefin. And I'm like, you know it, buddy. You know it, Yazoo.
Oh like my God, that's awesome.
Bluefin sushi or collars.
Godzilla, you eat too much. And I'm like, yep.
Hey, Captain Kogosha. Captain Kogosha just subscribed to Tier 1. Dear Lord, man, you guys are rocking.
Yes, and all of those who came over to the Substack and subscribed, thank you so much. I'm planning some very special things for you.
How cool is that, huh?
Yeah, you got a subscription to the Substack today, Walt.
I did.
Thank you.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm listening to the podcast now. Well,
Which
not
one?
now, but I was.
Which one?
I'm on the second one. I'm on
the one where I talked about my first gay sex encounter?
No, you're talking about aliens right now and their demons.
Oh, okay. That's all we do. We just talk about like nutty stuff that Nicole's really into conspiracy theories. So
everybody's signing up to listen to Medusa. You know it, man.
Jason said to me, he said, the podcast really isn't about you. It's about Nicole. And if you would just get out of the way, like she'd have 200,000 subscribers like that. And I'm like, yeah, but the problem is like you guys both have cats, right? Like Walt has cats.
Oh yeah.
Has cats. Nicole is a human cat. And the moment that you show her any kind of like, hey, cat, I like you. What do cats do? They're like, I'm out of here. You know, they're schizophrenic. That's
pretty much.
Like I give her about 2 more weeks of like unadulterated love from strangers in which she'll come to me and she's like, I can't cope with what's going on. I'm like, what? People liking you? And she's like, yeah, I just need a box where I can hide for a while. Like, I call that box time massage. Let's go. Couples time massage.
Couples time massage.
Yeah.
Is that kind of...
Don't let anyone ever steer you wrong. Couples time massage is a great first date.
Is that as good as couples yoga?
It's way better.
Couples hot yoga.
No, hot yoga is gross. You know. Plus, you gotta work. Thai massage, the little Thai ladies do all the work.
Right on. I'm down. Speaking of
If you
down,
come out, Walt, me and you will get Thai massages. We'll get the couples Thai massage.
I'm really not a massage guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm more the I'm more into strangulation. No, strangulation.
Let me ask you this: Have you ever had a massage? First off, let's start there.
So the original martial art I did growing up to prevent bruising, they taught you how to massage the body. So yeah, I used to like every class. So like now when I go for,
have you ever paid like to go into a room where a trained masseuse, you take off all your clothes, you're laying there naked, and they go to town on you?
Yes, and the guy, because it was a guy, and
that's the first mistake right there.
Yeah, and he was like, and I kept telling him, I'm like, look, you're not pressing hard enough.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm putting all my body weight on you. I'm like, I don't feel anything. So
yeah,
you're wasting your time. You're wasting my time.
I'm the same way too. Like I can't stand to get massages by white people because they can't do it.
So racist.
No, but if you have Thai massages by Thai ladies, I'm not kidding. Those women are brutal. They
use the force.
They really do use the force, and they do that little Thai laugh while they do it, which is hilarious. Like, and you're like, ah! And then they start putting you in positions and twisting you around and bending your leg over your lip and stuff like that. But it really it's great, man. I love Thai massages. Welcome to DnD After Dark.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think they'll have Thai massages in the room?
In the room? Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they probably see. That's Kungalore. That's in Forgotten Ruin. That's a region known as Kungalore, which is like a city state, which is kind of ruling over a vast area, which would basically be Singapore and India and Southeast Asia, and they're basically spice traders and lotus traders and things like that. They speak Hindu and Indian, but they're all six armed.
So neither Hindu nor Indian is a language.
They've got 4 boobs too. Hindu is a language. Hindu is a language, and Thai. I meant to say Thai. Hindu is a language, and so is Thai.
Well, Hindu is a religion. Hindi is a language.
Yeah.
You can also say Hindu, as in do you speak like everybody here who's a linguist? Raise your hand. See, I'm raising my hand. No one else is.
What about being a polyglot?
Definitely polyglot.
Yeah.
Multilingual.
I speak the language of love.
I had that Pokemon card, Polyglot. He was great.
What did he fight?
Polyglot. What he did is he threw multiple spitballs at you. I don't know. Pokemon's like after my. I think Pokemon's JR's time, right? Right, JR?
I think those came out after me too. We all had the Pongs. It was all about the Pongs.
Oh, it's all about the Pogs. Yes.
Pogs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Oh, I
little
had
round
cases
cards.
and cases of Pogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the drink. That's about it. Yeah, Pog. I don't know what Pog is. I'm
Absolutely.
old. Actually, I'm old equivalent to Chaos Actual. So we're like 2 days apart or something like that.
Yeah.
So
you're 68, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As in 1968, not 68.
Yeah. Actually, no. I think we're 3 months apart. Yeah, I'm literally 3 months younger, I think, than you are.
Oh wow.
So,
I look rough. I smoked and drank for a long time.
Speaking of looking rough, what was the general consensus of gnomish Benny coming out of the?
I liked him.
You were like, he's so cute.
I like that I'm not the shortest person in the group for once.
I enjoyed dunking on him for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, see.
And
I highly appreciated Nick having my back.
Yeah,
I think he highly overestimates that he's 4 feet tall. I'm thinking the 2.5 feet is probably about.
He's a power gamer. He doesn't think like about what the realities are. He just thinks about the stats and the advantages. So when you come in and you remind him, yeah, but you're 4 feet tall, you just then that kind of ruins the illusion for him. So
It's great though.
It's great.
He always seems to play a character that's very imperious, though. So he's like, "Hey, you, sir, come here."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you will do what I say because I said it.
Benny is now a yappy chihuahua. That's in chat.
You're not there. You're at some counter trying to hoist yourself up with your little gnome legs kicking.
Oh my God. I was telling Nick earlier after the show, one of my buddies sent me a note and was like, yeah, that whole your murder hobo is now a child thing is hysterical. He goes, you should have a running bit where every injury happens to his chest, and then one of you has to pull out a can of Vicks Vapor Rub for the little boy.
Next week, I'm going to start calling him Chucky.
Oh my God, because he's like a murderous little doll.
Yeah, exactly. See,
He just got a really big axe.
My torment for James M. Word is long reaching. It's a long game for me. It's not just a little. I got 6 months worth of plans to work out on him.
Does it involve selling him to foreign powers?
It probably involves him at some point, me dyeing him blue and turning him into a Smurf.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
La 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 la.
Oh my God.
Well,
I'm sure Walt can come up with some kind of curse that he eats something and it turns him blue or something.
Even
I can work something out.
better is if you turned him into Smurfette.
I thought for sure Walt was going to do that when he brought him back.
That would have been awesome.
I didn't want to take things too far.
I mean, this is James and Morgan talking about.
Smurfs was a really, when you think about it, was a very like trippy D&D cartoon. You know, like as in like they were magical creatures. They lived in the forest. There was mushrooms. They all were on mushrooms, and then there was a wizard. You know, like a wizard with a cat, and he had a tower.
Gargamel.
They were like,
Gargamel.
yeah, they were always like they were kind of always running into mildly D&D-ish creatures and stuff like that. It was a pretty advanced cartoon when you think about it.
Captain Kilgosha. He has pictures of James singing Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo. I've got a perfect puzzle for you.
Oompa Loompa Doompa.
I just didn't want to get copyrighted strike by me butchering the song.
So, what was going through your mind, Nick, when you guys met Detraglia, the deep state dude?
You know what? I mean, like after the show, I was listening to Dan Bongino, and he was just breaking down like what a bunch of scumbags the real deep state is, and what they've done to our country, and like what they did generally, things like that. And literally, I wanted to like restart this D&D game just so I could punch that dude in the face.
Speaking of that dude, I was convinced Nick was going to sell me out. He's like, "Yeah, you can have him."
No way. I may be a lot of things, JR, but I'm your buddy.
I may be a lot of things, and I'm also a terrible shot. Sorry, JR.
Yeah, you plunged him in the back.
Yeah.
I rolled that
for a
one.
hero moment.
I rolled that one, and I was like, "Should I re-roll this?" Nah, screw it. I'm just going to take it.
That's what I did with my 2. Also, I was like, that's kind of funny that I rolled a 2, trying to like get an impossible shot.
Oh my god! Yeah, you guys were shooting like past each other's earlobes today. It was crazy.
So at the end, I was just like, I'm gonna heal him. I'm like,
Crowley's got like a soft heart. He's always feeling bad for something he did.
Speaking of soft-hearted, what do you think is up with Crowley hearing the voices of the dead?
Necromancer?
Am I?
Well,
he's
first,
doubting that he is. Yeah.
First, you started hearing like every fifth word or something like that from that ghost on the beach, and then you were catching. You told that thing to stop, and it did.
You see the things.
I thought that was just to spite Benny. Because he's like, what's he going to do? Talk to it? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to talk to it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Captain Kilgosh is saying he's going to become a gnome necromancer.
I'm not going gnome. No way.
Once you go gnome, you never go back.
Go home.
Everybody couldn't say that fast enough. Like,
Yeah,
exactly.
I want
No
to do the lone wolf.
No
and
one
cub
came
thing
up with
Benny.
gnome to the bone. No one came up with that.
Gnome to the bone. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's not right.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
I've heard a lot of if you ever go gnome, you never go home, and I'm like, murderous bastards.
But yeah, Deep State dude rolled up on you and made the trade. You guys were kind
in our
of
box.
Gwendolyn said, "Open in case of emergency." So
How does she know she didn't get screwed?
you'd have to. That's going to be the conversation you're going to have with her during the next session.
James looks like he's trying to get online.
Oh, his wife let him up. Wow.
Here he comes.
Nick, have we ever thought of an idea of like gnome, like werewolves, and they look like little puppies?
No werewolves.
Puppies. Oh my God.
Which my 14-year-old daughter, who's next to me, is like, "Oh, no werewolves that are puppies." I'm like, "Yep, there it is."
That's brilliant. That is really good.
Little like those like little tiny wolf puppies that are out there, but they're really gnomes.
We're not that small. We are not that small.
Yeah, 2.5 feet on average. Yeah.
No, 4 foot on average.
See, James, the way to get the small thing, like the small jabs, the way to get us to stop jabbing you about the small stuff is to do the opposite of what you've done, which is react to it. And now we're never going to stop.
Same thing with nicknames.
What was your favorite nickname, JR?
Man boy.
Man boy. I've gotten some messages. I've gotten some messages about that if I was trying out for the Navy.
Oh my God.
It's like, we are pirates now. Ahoy!
Did you get those messages from Cisco?
Now that you're a cabana boy?
Yeah. Got to do something to earn my keep.
Or no, because it's not a cabana because you're on a ship, so it's a cabin boy.
Yeah.
There was that character, was it Mad TV or Saturday Night Live, where she would like cackle and she'd be like, "Come here, cabana boy!"
Oh my goodness. So yeah, you guys had to deal with Trago or Detraglia on the dock, and he very much wanted to trade for JR. He wanted to. He was willing to.
History there.
Something's up there, JR. You pissed somebody off.
He likes what he likes.
Maybe it was his brother that I killed that day when we floated the body.
Or it could be a whole like Wizard of Oz thing. You landed the plane on his like mom or something.
Well, then he'd want Rock Powers.
Rock Powers has no natural enemies. See, that's your first mistake.
I'm afraid you're wrong about that.
I heard a certain Master Sergeant.
Maybe he just wants his very own man boy for himself.
Yeah,
I think
maybe
that's
he's
true.
jealous. Maybe he's jealous of my man boy.
Right. So he wants what somebody else has.
Yeah, he saw JR floating naked men through the forest.
I think that's actually the basis of D&D, wanting what someone else has. That someone just happens to be like a gray ooze or a goblin in a dungeon. And you're like, hey, you know what I'm going to do this morning? I'm going to go down into that hole and take what those people have. That's just D&D, really, in a nutshell.
Crowley's got a point. I mean, JR may, for all we know, still be floating that naked body somewhere over the ocean.
Still going.
But then again, any dude that wears a polo shirt, khakis, and loafers in the ruin probably wants what he can't have.
That's true.
It's true. Yep.
He's probably like latently homosexual.
With
Look,
a pop
I don't
collar
care
and
what
all.
you say. It's going to be fabulous.
I loved the orc with the matching hair to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was just such a nice touch.
I hope he made the orc change his name to Chris or something like that.
With a K.
All right, Walt. So how much of that was pre-written and how much of today's session was spontaneous on your part?
So just to give you an idea, so this is so it's all pre-done. So I got pages and pages and pages and pages, and it's all pre-done. The only parts that weren't pre-done are like custom interactions that you guys have. So I didn't know what he was going to do with Detraglia. I didn't know. But Coden and Nero, that was all, the two, what do you call it? Gnomes, that was all done. The way that they look and the way that they act, that was all done. You guys going to pick up the cannons at the old, the old stronghold where all the undead are awake and moving and blah, blah, blah. That's all pre-written. So
that scene with AC was that intentional that we were going to be the ones to kill him, or was that just an ad lib?
What is it again?
Where we actually killed AC?
AC. So AC was always going to be a ghost on the beach, but when you shelled the beach, I'm like, oh, priceless.
Funny, yeah.
I felt a little bad. I'm like, I killed the guy.
You immediately looted his body, though. Didn't feel that bad.
What was that, Nick?
You can tell that I'm an actor because like this is how actors play in D&D. Going back to Taglia, whatever his name was, like basically I'm like, oh, my scene with Taglia was like straight out heat. It was so good. Like, that's how an actor would talk about playing D. You mean your encounter with the main bad NPC? Yeah, that guy. No, my scene with Taglia. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good. How I flipped on a dime there. It was pretty good.
It was a fun scene because, you know, here's this guy that you've been hearing about since the first game, and he shows up, and instead of being this like massive warlord that you hear, he walks out of an LL Bean catalog, and he's like, hi guys, like, you know, like be my friend, you know, that kind of deal.
I've heard of you.
I think there's a spy among the dragon's teeth. I think it's called something teeth.
Yeah, the broken teeth.
The broken teeth, because he knew too much for having split when he did.
I'm glad that the mountain range isn't known as the gas station hooker's broken teeth.
What was that?
I'm glad that mountain range isn't known as the gas station hooker's broken teeth.
Speaking of lovers, we do want the Sultan of Ankylor stories. So that's got to be a thing. Because it's hilarious.
Like,
yeah, just toss out a short story or something.
Like you have said multiple times, Nick, the heart wants what the heart wants.
If we really want to know what happens with the Sultan of Ankylor.
I would just say that by becoming subscribers to Control, you can have that short story.
Oh, there we go.
I am a whore. I will be whatever you need, baby.
Totally planning to subscribe, and I called dibs on the main harlot and his harem.
If you do subscribe, I Tuckerize you, and I will name you that harlot.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. So then you guys mount the ship and start cracking over. Yeah, you mount the ship.
Oh my God.
So you board the ship.
Always like big girl.
It writes itself. You board the ship, and then you guys go to that island, and you know, I thought it was a great idea to shell the beach. That was a really, really good idea. That was very smart.
That was some pro officer in, because he's like, what? Go ashore? Like, you know, like you've already said it's crawling with undead. You know, like it's obviously an obstacle.
You don't have to
minefield and stuff like that. And here you're sitting here with a battleship. Effectively, why don't you just shell the hell out of it and go ashore? Like, you don't actually usually ever get to do that in D&D. The dungeon master lures you down into his trap-laden dungeon with the promise that you're going to get a potion of invisibility.
Right.
And for once, you're like, oh wait, I've got battleship and like a field to shoot at. No brainer.
Oh, I was thinking of the logistics of we're going to pick those shells up because they don't explode, right? We can reuse those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but they're embedded into the beach. You're going to have to
dig them out.
Shovel.
We've got a master sergeant with some dagger teeth.
Yeah, okay. They don't fly true anymore. They got dents in them. They're not round and spherical anymore. They aren't what you want.
And you're closer to the ground, so it's easy for you to dig them out.
Stop it!
It's like one of those carriers that they use to chase small animals in holes and stuff.
They're using one of those non-spherical ones anymore. It's like rolling a die. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of die, I thought Nick was going to bring his out today.
What?
Why is that?
His magic die when we were dealing with Trago. I thought he might roll his magic die.
You know, I thought about it, but you know, like that dice might be a little dangerous because like last time it was Banshee and everything like that. So I think it has to be saved for
those.
Okay. Critical times. But you know, I thought my cask was like, you guys all thought I was just there to drink, and then suddenly, like real alcoholic, I turned that bottle into a weapon.
Yeah, that was cool. Throwing it onto the
that was awesome.
that necromancer in the up against the wall. That was a neat trick.
Yeah, if you ever find
I just like that he didn't die,
or like a family reunion or a Thanksgiving with open liquor, like and it goes sideways, that's your first move. Don't do anything else.
So do we know anything about what we got off that necromancer? Yeah, the
belt.
The serpent belt.
Yeah, it's a belt. It looks like it's leather with metal inlay, and then the buckle is a head of a serpent. And when you buckle it, it looks like it's chewing on the belt, like an Ouroboros.
I can tell you what the belt isn't.
What's that?
It's not a belt of resistance to fire.
So I've talked to Walt about that, trying to get him to give up what the various magic items are, because we have a couple we just don't know what they are. He's like, well, if you get 1,000 gold and buy a pearl from the Sultan of Ankalor.
The Sultan of Ankalor is everywhere now. He's in the Pearl Network. He's in the Poker Network.
Who do you think runs the Silk Road?
I was debating about using one of his harem women as an illusion on the deep state guy and do a 7-breasted woman if negotiations were going bad, because that is just his type.
If this has become a movie, I'm going to have Jack Black play the Sultan of Ankalor.
Yes.
Is that like a role just to get revenge on Jack Black for being Jack Black?
No, I think he would be perfect. Like, fat little devil boy is like this erotic pimp drug dealing, Bronze Age sultan. That'd be great.
He'd be like the sultan from the Alvin and the Chipmunks original cartoon movie. Little kid sultan.
Like the one way back in the day, or like recently?
No, the one way back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, Celtic Kill. I'm 4 feet tall, just so you know.
Round it up.
Nick, we were planning.
I love that James is obsessing about his minuscule height.
So, Nick, we were
minuscule.
You're tiny. You're tiny. We all
look at it this way.
We have a conversation. You say something, we all have to lower our heads 45 to 65 degrees. To look
Yeah. And you know what? Everything is larger than man size to me, so I can do double damage on everything.
Oh my god!
Well, when we were,
so what you're saying is your power gaming is what you're saying.
Exactly, that's me all the way.
Go ahead, JR.
I said when we were doing the prep for this, I told Nay that because she was like, "Are you sure they're going to let me on? It's going to be okay?" Because she was squeeing out a little bit. And then when we were talking, she's like, "I'm going to see if he'll let me be one of the 7-breasted women that escaped."
Oh,
so you sent that message on a day that I was knee deep in like a double shift. So like when I got home, I was dead. I didn't even see the message. Because I didn't answer, you should have poked me and been like, "Hey, did you see the message above, like right up there? Because that's kind of important." I would have put that in a heartbeat.
I thought it would have been funny because I also joked at him and said that I could have been one of the harem ones, but in a freak accident I lost 5 of the 7, and that's why I can no longer be in the harem. And that's why I came along to you, fine gentleman. And he's like, you gotta tell him. I'm like, I don't know him that well. Like, I don't want to come off as a weirdo.
I just couldn't.
The greatest thing about being a 7-breasted courtesan of Ankalor is that your charisma is automatically 25.
I thought my charisma was automatically 25.
Yeah, your charisma is automatically 25 for all males.
25 is godlike.
Yes.
Yes.
James, you ever seen a woman with 7 breasts?
Yes, of course I have.
Total Recall had 3.
Did you willingly look away?
No, of course not.
25 charisma.
25.
All right.
So we've got Captain Kilgosha in the chat who says that when you insist that you're exactly 4 feet tall, it's sort of like their 9-year-old who's, "I'm 9.5, thank you."
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
If he gets to round up, I get to round up and claim I'm 5'5".
Oh, there we go.
James, we can pick you up and punch you through the uprights.
Yeah, no.
Dude, now we can finally give the audience. We can finally give the audience what they've always wanted. We can throw somebody at the enemy.
You're just an animated version of Chucky at this point.
You know what?
I'm gonna have Lamb turn you into a fastball special.
Franks and Beans needs to get a human slingshot so he can slingshot him at people.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God, Nick! Make it happen.
It's good. It's as good. It's sure as I'm going to call James Chucky next week.
So when are we going to get to see the crossover where Crawley's character starts recognizing what's right in front of him?
I was reading the stuff on the ground. I was good.
Yeah, he started like I said, he was, at one point he starts hearing the ghost on the beach, and then the next minute he was able to talk to that juggernaut that was coming at you guys.
Yeah, talking to the monster really worked well for us.
Did.
Well done. Yeah,
it did. I stopped it.
Yeah.
We don't
want
wanna-
our red shirt's dead.
we don't want to take his rank away for being stupid.
Hey, I'm hurt that Dagger Team member 2 died. He was so close to being named. So close.
This is like a D&D episode of Galaxy Quest right here. He almost had a name.
Yeah, really. Exactly right.
Oh my God. Yeah, but the other one. Well, you have Richardson still, the guy that you left behind on the beach.
Yeah, Crowley wanted to leave him behind, not JR.
Yeah,
no, I know.
James, you put in to rescue him too, didn't you?
To rescue who? Oh yeah,
everyone
absolutely.
except me.
Yeah, absolutely. We had to find him, and we did.
And I was in charge too. It was great.
Yeah, as in charge as a talking fighter can be.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, you guys had your hands full as far as coming into that fort. Now, what do you think was going on with the hands that was pulling that guy through the wall?
I want to talk about the talking at the thing. You guys went an entire round and couldn't kill a guy who was on fire and pinned to a wall. Like Nick started with, "Hey, we're being flanked from our side," and you guys are all like, "Well, that guy's almost dead. I'm going to drive a sword through the middle of his head and miss."
I'm going to ask you a question.
That was bad.
I'm going to ask you a question, J. Mac, and you can answer as specifically or as non-specifically as you want. But have you ever tried to fight a naked man on PCP in a strip club?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I defer to the experts.
Exactly. And that's how it is to stab a guy on fire. Like, think about it, like in real life. Like you're in that strip club and there's this guy and he's running around with his dongle out and he's like claiming that he's Jim Morrison and he's got like a kitchen knife in one hand and a broken beer bottle in the other.
It's
like, do you fight that guy or do you? But we haven't.
No. I'm like you guys were. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, when I had to fight the big giant magic axe wielding guy, I was also on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would like to jump back to Nick Lynn, like as a paramedic in Flint, Michigan. You had this experience apparently.
Yes, he was on more than just PCP. It took 15 cops, myself, and my partner to pin him. It was like trying to herd cats with chopsticks.
Wow.
It was horrendous, and it didn't help that it was a night that had some all-girl review and all-guy review at like different times. It was alternating, but they also had like one of those slime bath wrestlings. Like I'm not sure, it's not quite lube, but it stinks like high hell. So he was a slippery sucker.
Yeah,
on top
and that's when you're on him and you're riding him, around the strip club covered in green slime and everything like that. You and 15 of your cop and paramedic buddies. I hope someone had the presence of mind to scream out "Living the dream."
That's usually what we say after the call when you walk past another crew and they're like, "How's your night go?" I'm like, "Living the dream, one call at a time."
Living the dream. Wrestling naked dudes on PCP.
Yes, I got covered in slime. I felt like ick. I debated changing my name to Destiny or Diamond and going to work there instead.
Did some photos get taken?
I
my
wish,
gosh,
but
James.
I don't think so.
James.
Okay, you guys are talking about 7-breasted women, and I ask for a photo, and I'm a bad guy?
We're really good at not getting stuck in photos because anytime like photos come up in the news, or I've been on video on the news of running a call, and if somebody that sees you that works fire EMS PD, you now owe around a drink at the bar when we go to Kegs and Eggs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Eggs and
James
eggs.
is okay with normal human
And that's
beings
expensive.
say these things, but you're 4 feet tall, and so it comes off as weird.
But we're gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pitch in some of my share of the loot, and I'm gonna buy you stilts so you can be as big as the rest of us.
I'm going to buy him
Hey,
a
you
little
know, that's-
basket to carry him around.
You know what? Benny can make this to his advantage because then he can sit on Lamb's shoulder and direct him to do everything. And he can just have a great old time drinking margaritas at the top and being like, go do this.
Actually, we should get Lamb a backpack so Benny can like sit in the backpack and he's all good. Yeah,
It's like a
Like
baby carrier.
Yeah,
like the baby carrier.
He's got his own little baby Bjorn for Benny.
Yeah, but it would be more like Master Blaster from Road Warrior.
Yes, exactly.
He rides on his
When I-
shoulders.
When I reveal myself to be Prometheus the Chaotic, and I use my wish and my fever sword, I'm gonna wish for like a gnome specific, magic item artifact of ultimate power in the shape of pink bunny ears.
Oh my God, pink bunny ears.
I loved Kilgosha though. He said that you were a Puss in Boots. And you know what? Everybody loved Puss in Boots.
Yes.
I named my cat that.
James, we love you. We're just having fun.
It's okay. I don't mind it. I can take it. I'm a big boy. No,
and I
no,
would-
I'm not.
I would like
really.
to-
Very little.
James, yeah, you're actually not a big boy, but you did have the play of the game. You did do that, like, and it's something we all need to learn from you and your playstyle. You were right about how to fight the undead, and specifically right with instead of shooting people in the back like some people, you used harmless water to destroy the enemy. And
Yeah.
that was some pro level dungeoneering.
It worked good, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. I was surprised at someone as short as you could think of that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So I lost more loot betting on Benny. So they had 2 other polls about him. He seems to be a popular topic for the prediction polls. So I seem to be giving my channel points away. I might need an intervention.
I won both those. I don't even remember what they were.
I don't either, but I'm like, I'm just gonna keep betting on Benny. One day it'll pay off.
Oh, one was would he get resurrected? How did you not get that one?
Oh, I just threw 10 because it was like play the odds. If I won, I would have won big.
Oh.
And then the other one was whether he was going to.
I think there's some channel ladies, JR, that would keep you in all the channel points you need if you're willing to be.
Could be.
I'm up to 2,000.
The question is, JR, are you fun?
He doesn't know how to. You're going to break him. He's going to short circuit.
Yeah, I bet he's glad he stayed up for this.
Yeah, I didn't want to fall asleep a little short.
So Naylin, talk a little bit about the phantasmal force spell that you used.
Yeah, because I saw it in there twice because you had it listed for me under spell and scroll, and like I was harassing Sinkin, and I'm like, okay, so that means I have it in 2 different spots. I can use it twice then. Because if I remember correctly, you said a big spell like that you could only use like once per day, and then you got to rest, kind of thing.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, well, we'll try the scroll, and then if anything else really hits the fan, I've got backup spell. And when I did get to use it, because he threw fire, and I was like, oh, I can pull from that and make a fire elemental. So by the next round that I finally did get to use it, I didn't realize I'd have to give a description of it. So you're like, give a description. I'm like, oh shit.
You did good though.
Let me
Nice.
just pull something out of thin air and give it to you really quickly of what would scare me.
Did a great job.
Yeah,
that was
I would play an illusionist now based on that experience. Like I've never played an illusionist in my entire D&D career, and now I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. I could get into that, especially being a wordy bastard like I am.
Yeah, like I was like, I could, I wanted to add in more, but I didn't want to take 10 minutes to describe how awesomely scary this elemental was. But I'm like, okay, what are the most scariest things I can think of right off the bat? And having it come out of his own body that's on fire and create and get bigger and bigger, I'm pretty sure I would have just died of fear alone from that. Personally.
Yeah, because I mean, you've probably seen in your line of work, you've probably seen a couple of horrendous burn victims here or there, and you know the kind of shock and trauma that causes.
Yeah, I've had quite a few 4th of July.
Oh.
See the only thing you were missing out of the description what was the odor. Yeah, you needed to
sulfurous odor.
Yeah,
more than likely.
The smell of burnt skin, burnt hair. Yeah, very distinct.
It weirdly smells like pork.
Like bacon. Yep.
Yeah, really. We don't want to scare away the 8, 9, and 10-year-olds that play this game.
I'm pretty sure their mom shut this off already.
Yeah, really.
I know you would not watch this.
What smells worse is singed hair.
Yeah, no, it's the hair. The hair's got the
That stinks so bad. And I'm sure with his probably thick layer of dirt that he probably hasn't cleaned off in a long time, he probably would have smelled like burning pork sewage.
The worst thing I ever smelled in my life was a homeless person in New York City in the subway. Like, it was so
It can get bad.
It was beyond. Like, I was sitting in a subway car where like half the New Yorkers said, we are all going to squeeze on this side of the car not to get near that guy. But like, it was so bad that I think I smelled it for weeks. Like, it was just,
oh wow.
oh shit, that's the worst smell ever.
No, so some of those guys who are like real professional bums who are like, you know, need to go to the hospital type bums that actually have like dead skin, you just can't see it necessarily.
And thank you, Rothman, for bringing back the word bum. I like the word bum. I don't like this homeless. That's homeless or noble people trying to get a job. Bum is that dude.
Worst smelling thing I've ever had, and I've got some smelly homeless people that I take on the regular, was I got called out for a guy that had not been seen in 4 months. And was actually mummified in his apartment. And like the bugs had already come and gone. Yep. And there was just like the shells of the pupa on the floor. So as you walked across the floor, it crunched. And you're like, whew, this is great. So our medical examiner investigator showed up, because I can't even tell if this is the person that lives there, let alone what happened to him. And she brought along her new hire. And I was like, oh, here you go. If you can live through that, if you can, you got the job. I can guarantee it, because not like 3 cops can even walk in there.
Let me ask you this question about Michigan, and this is a little bit of a diversion, but you know, I being in California, people say things about California, and a lot of sometimes it's hyperbole. In some places like San Francisco and LA, it's very true. It's pretty stark, scary to say. Where I live in Orange County, it's pretty nice. Like, it's not the wasteland people think it is. What we hear about Michigan and Flint, is it as bad as we hear?
Yes.
Like, wow.
Don't drink the tap water.
Not just the tap water, but the crime and just the like utter devastation, right?
Yes. A good example is last year during our COVID lockdown. This rapper came out and did an unofficial concert and music video in the middle of one of the old closed down shopping centers. And that night alone, we had over 33 people shot at that concert.
Wow.
Only 3 died. The third one that died, he was mine. And it was at like a Coney Island down the road at like 4 a.m. And it was actually on video for a while that was getting passed around like Snapchat type stuff of the dude's sister coming after us while we're trying to work on this guy. And I turned around, clotheslined her, and it was like, no, you're not, because the cops couldn't get to her in time. There was like 30 people on scene to like about 10 cops and me and my partner, and that was it.
You're the state with Whitmer, right?
Yeah, that crazy winch.
Yeah.
So not only bum, but winch is coming back.
Yeah, it's actually bad enough here that I don't know if you guys know this, but your guys' SOCMs, your Special Operation Combat Medics, for all the different military branches that do have medics. Sorry, my really old dog just took off down the hall, and I don't trust that. He's really old. They are trained here in Flint at our Hurley Hospital, which is our trauma center, burn center, peds center. And then they also we have echo units that are police officers and paramedics. They are dual rolled, but they can't transport patients. So when they get on our ambulances, we have to train them. Some are some of the stupidest people I've ever met in my life and totally eat crayons. And then there's other ones that are actually pretty intelligent, and those are the ones we spend a little more one-on-one time of teaching them things.
Because that's as real as it gets before they get to work. Very interesting.
It definitely does, because I know for you guys, for the military, when they go to school for their combat medic, they test out as an EMT for the National Registry. Their SOCMs, they have the option to test out as paramedic, but most don't because they can't pass the test because you guys are so trauma based. Where National Registry, it's the jack of all trades for everything. You got to know everything.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I just wanted to know that. I kind of know what's going on, and I think I'm basically being lied to about a lot of stuff, but I found it's best to talk to people on the ground about what's going on.
No, they said it was mostly peaceful.
Yeah, really.
There's probably disbelieving in the obvious again.
It's so peaceful that literally, I know I mentioned it earlier last week. I was at a gas station. There's this guy that rolls up with this like trailer that's got this grill on it that smokes meats throughout the night, and he goes to different areas and sells it. It's fantastic. There was a bunch of us standing out there waiting to get our food while he was cooking it, and literally some dude decided to drive by on the ambulance and on this place because there was so many people standing out there, and why, I don't know. None of us got hit, luckily. And I looked at him. I was like, dude, if there's a bullet in my food, I'm going to go hunt him down.
I've had a bullet in my food.
It's not
Seriously?
nice. I don't like it when that happens.
Yeah.
How'd the bullet end up in your food?
Well, someone shot the duck. And we made duck sausage. I bit the pellet, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Then you go into the dentist, and you're like, is that? He's like, yeah, it's a divot. He's like, it's going to turn into a
Pheasant.
cavity. I'm like, that'll teach me, Doug.
Oh my God.
Anyway, sorry to go all left field.
No, we love that stuff, man. The After Dark shows, like we talk about everything. We talk about all of JR's problems.
Rothman usually refrains from showing food to torture JR.
It's usually since he's had dinner already. It's not as much fun.
Yeah.
But if you're interested, Nick, I don't know if anybody's seen it. I'm not like sponsoring it or anything, but on Netflix there is a show called Flint Town. My partner's on it. You can't see me, thank you God, because I'm at the foot of the cot and it panned too far behind me. So I was missed, so I didn't have to get rounds of drinks. And it's one season. It's a couple episodes, like 5 or 6, and it does really show you like legit what it's like and what we deal with out there. And it's a very thankless job sometimes because you'll show up on scene, get chewed out for something, and you weren't even there.
Yeah. No, I turned off my Netflix subscription, but I'll steal it on the internet because I think that's okay. And I hate Netflix. So, but no, I mean, like, it's just really, I find those things really interesting and fascinating. But yeah, it's when D&D becomes real life, it's where we're headed. It's fun, but we play a game that's about dangerous things happening to dangerous people, and I think I think that's fun because life is kind of dangerous, and there's I wish it were different, all those kind of things, but it's turning into a very weird scenario. I'm just kind of hoping I get to shoot a giant or something.
No, D&D is always supposed to be an outlet, So if nothing else, why not? Yeah.
Hey, it's
now it's a sand table.
Yeah, really, it's not going to be a problem because Wizards is really going to take care of it so that we don't have deadly situations anymore.
Yeah,
that's true. I see 6.0 being very non-confrontational.
Oh yeah, me too. The role playing is everything.
So
James, if they asked you to come back and design it, you'd do it, right?
Not a chance. If they gave me $5 million to do it, I wouldn't do it.
But 6 is. Yeah.
$5 million, I'd do it.
I would.
No,
because
you know what? Because the fantasy games I make are more fun and more interesting than anything those guys could come up with.
Yeah, but for $5 million, I'd do a lot of things.
Nope. Yeah, me too, but not that. I don't like Wizards, and I don't appreciate their attitude.
Yeah,
because I'm old.
6.0, the classes will be different. Like the cleric will now be called the shaman, the earth shaman. The wizard will now be called like what? What's the
Prestidigitator?
Yeah, really.
And his name will be Christopher with a K.
Yeah.
With a K.
It won't be. Yeah, it won't be a wizard either for sure. It'll be.
And there will be 12 genders to choose from.
I know.
Yeah.
12 genders. Give me a break. Oh my goodness.
That's like
I just
1.5 per breast.
Yeah.
I just want to play gingerbread he/she.
Yeah, there we go.
There was a pretty big announcement the other day that a Hollywood celebrity was going to be getting into voice acting for D&D, and somebody sent it to me, and I was angry and cranky because I had worked a bunch of hours, and I was like, so let me get this straight. He's going to be on a show where they're going to talk to the orcs, put them on a subsidy, get them Section 8 housing, and then let them burn down said housing because they're dissatisfied with the service. And the guy was like,
described Antifa.
So,
yeah, really.
Because I've like already discussed Hollywood this month once. I'll tell my Jeff Goldblum story, and it's funny.
Okay, great.
I knew this actress. I was going to play with her, and she had this friend who was in Jeff Goldblum's acting class, and Jeff Goldblum like took her back to his place and made out with her. And the whole time that they were making out, he kept saying to her, "I bet you can't believe you're making out with Jeff Goldblum." It was awesome.
oh,
I was like, that is the height of Hollywood narcissism.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, is this actor you're talking about, Walt, the guy who's married to the most beautiful woman on earth?
who's going to be voicing for D&D?
Yeah.
No, it's the guy he just talked about, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm the guy who's married to the most beautiful actress.
Just wondered.
I don't know who Jeff Goldblum's married to.
There's a D&D there's an actor who like has his whole basement filled with stuff that Luke goes and games with all the time, and I'm so jealous because he spent a year being an actor and now he's famous for D&D.
Yeah. That's Joe Manganiello.
There we go. That's the boy.
Yeah, he's married to the lady from was it American? No, not American Family. Modern Family.
Yep.
But yeah, she's funny when she Sofia Vergara when she gives an interview, she's like, yeah, he goes down with his friends and they play with their little toys.
He's actually way into it. He's into like magic and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah.
I just looked up Jeff Goldblum. He's married to a former Olympic gymnast, Canadian dancer, and contortionist. He's fine. He's doing okay.
Yeah, really.
What did you say? He's into black magic?
Pretty sure that as soon as she said contortionist, he was all for it.
Yeah.
No. Like J Mac, you said Manganiello is into black magic, or I didn't catch the last part.
No, like Magic the Gathering, the card game.
Oh,
like
Magic the Gathering,
like D&D Pokemon.
Yeah.
He's paid to be a spokesperson for them, which really irritates the hell out of me, actually.
I think my brother-in-law has a bunch of those.
Yeah. Why you wouldn't be paid to be a spokesperson for some crazy popular card game?
Because Benny's much better.
If it wasn't Wizards of the Coast, yeah, I'd take their dollars happily, but
there's issues.
I have this thing, issues.
Joe's a very good-looking dude. Like it's not fair. You know what I mean?
So in one of the sister shows for the show that we do on Friday, also on the Old School D&D Network, we team up with the guys from the Banff podcast, and we we try out different games by different designers on Monday.
Oh, cool!
And yeah, it's a fun show. Part 2 of White Lies, which is like kind of like a spy genre, Operation White Box. It's really a lot of fun. That's going to be on Monday. But we play with this guy periodically. His name is Jason Sunday, and every time he jumps on screen, somebody in the chat will just say, "God damn, man, you are way too pretty to be gaming with the rest of us."
That's funny.
So yeah, we gotta pimp his face more, so that way we bring more people into the channel.
There we go. Yeah, that's
all.
Name
like Jason Sunday.
I know plenty of nerdy girlfriends that would totally hop on.
Yeah, because
when you say hop on,
probably both. I mean, they mainly work in EMS, so
I see.
Probably both.
Oh my God. But speaking of hop on, what are you guys going to do in the next session? Are you going to continue to gather cannons, shot, and weapons in the corridors of this ruined keep? Or are you going to
I assume there's a lot more of the ruined keep to explore.
We
kind of touch the outside of it.
That map is great, Walt. You really give good map.
So since we couldn't save it, what was the magic on the cape that got burned up?
Sorry, man.
The cape that got, you mean the guy that got burned?
The cape burnt too.
So this guy right here?
That can be repaired, by the way.
The cape wasn't magical. It was the belt that was underneath that was.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to feel so angry about it.
You're gonna make JR's cloak jealous.
Cloaky's gonna get mad.
No, my cloak doesn't like me. I keep asking it to do things.
Yeah, the maps are all we guys who are making maps and things like Incarnate and stuff like that. They're all on like Patreon and whatnot, or you can buy a lot of these maps right on DriveThruRPG. The other day they just had a massive sale. It was like 150 maps for something like $25.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was just like, yeah, that's mine all day.
Nice. Can you use them in your products too?
You would need permission from the because all these maps come with a license.
Okay.
So you would need permission from somebody to do it. But I mean, if you really wanted to do it yourself, there are all these online tools. A lot of this stuff is made with online tools and map editors and stuff like that. You just go out and make them. Which is really kind of interesting because let's see, hold on a second. There's whoops, too far. There's one that I use all the time, and where is it?
We don't know.
Dungeon Scroll. So I use that one all the time. It's a lot of fun because it's super easy. Like if I can get my act together. There we go, right there. All right, so you get right on it, right, and you start scrolling. It's going to give you a little blurb about, like you can get an introductory video, right, and it's all Patreon supported. So if you want to support it, cool. If you don't want to support it, cool. The dude is really cool to develop these tools, and he allows you to use it for whatever you want. What do you call it? Whether you want it for commercial, non-commercial, so forth and so on, and then you just go, right, and it brings up slight loading screen, right, tells you what's up, and then it's super easy. Say there's a room, right, you want a hallway from there, there's your hallway, right, you can take this out if you want or create a door, right, and there's your door right there. Right. So
nice. Very nice.
I mean, it's super easy, super intuitive, multiple shapes. If you wanted like a cave to come off of this right here, you go, and then we can kind of play with the, don't get weird. All right. There we go. Yeah. It got weird there for a second. Right. So there's a cave that and all this stuff.
That's very cool.
What's that?
That's very cool.
Yeah, and it's very easy to use. I sometimes use it. We used one of these maps, I believe, in episode 2 of Wargate Shattersea. We used one of these maps when you guys were chasing the meteorite with the goblins and stuff like that. We used a couple of these maps. Drawing. Yeah, angry Spartan. But I mean, it's super easy to do, and like I said, you can use them for all over the place. I believe didn't Sparky use the map?
I think so. It looks exactly like that, so I'm pretty sure he did.
He said in chat that he did.
Yeah, because Sparky, refresh my memory. Is that one of the ones I pointed you to? Like I said, it's a super intuitive thing. But most of the time, if I see a cool map or something like that, I'll go in and I'll just either buy it outright or if they got a cool map pack for a little bit of money. Like I said, 150 maps the other day for like $200. There was a Kickstarter the other beginning of the month that just finished 100 maps for the buy-in for the Kickstarter was for $20, and they were really, really custom, nice quality. So I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah. So if by supporting some of these map makers and cartographers who are really kind of helping things come along, especially for people who might really enjoy the table experience but don't get the table experience right now. Angry Spartan is saying, yeah, I love Dice and Dungeons. Yeah, that's cool stuff. But the VTT stuff is coming a long way, and you're seeing guys like Stephen Chenault is really warming up to the table, the VTT experience, because he's going to be running some games online. If you don't know Stephen, he runs Troll Lord Games, and when they also have a channel on Twitch, and every time they try and broadcast, we try and like restream them and stuff like that. Same thing with Jay Scott, who's Lord Gazumba. You've been on his show a couple of times, Big Benny, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a super cool dude, just a really really down to earth cool dude who has this huge room of like his entire basement is all like terrain and miniatures. But he's even warming up to some of the VTT stuff because sometimes you want to play with people that can't be in your location, and you know this kind of software, which is super easy to use and very user friendly, that allows people to get on from across the country. We've for my gaming company, Hazard Studio, we have a group of guys and girls called the Midnight Riders that help me play test games. And most of the time, the reason we call them the Midnight Riders is they're all in different time zones around the world. 3 of them are in New Zealand. So when we play together, it's always been through a VTT. So it really helps a lot.
James, you're a celebrity, and you've played in a lot of interesting conventions and D&D games and things like that. What's the most elaborate game or highest kind of end experience you've ever had playing D&D?
That's a fair question. There was a guy named Duke Siegfried, and he had Siegfried Miniatures. He was a miniatures company, but he could paint a 25 millimeter miniature that looked like a real person. His paint jobs were amazing. And he would do an Arabian Nights game every year at Gen Con that I always played in because it was so fantastic and so visual. So he had these marvelous Arabian Nights ships sail in to the sand table, and he'd have this beautiful setup of this Arabian Nights city with high walls and turrets and those golden topped temple things, and the miniatures would walk through this city, and it was just a visual delight. And when we went into a building, he'd take off the top half, and we'd play walking into the temples and the altars and everything. It was just amazing. And we played for 4 hours in a thing that was museum quality.
Oh wow, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, he died unfortunately, but he had a marvelous legacy. All the good people have croaked except me, I think.
You've outlived them all.
There we go. Me and Tim Kask are the guys that have lived the longest.
You know, and like some of the terrain that you can get, and like you were saying, some of the paint jobs. When I watch Lord Gazumba's channel, his paint jobs are amazing. And his terrain is just mind-blowing. But like we remember back a couple of episodes, you guys were working with that skull, and it had the 2 trees growing out of the eyes. And I was just like, at one point, I was like, oh my God, if I could get that miniature and that kind of terrain. And sure enough, here it is.
Oh, wow.
Right there. I mean, just like, and you know, if you look at this guy's paint job, I mean, the stippling on the stone, the grassiness of not only the moss, but also like just the regular terrain, the water coming out. I mean, the water looks translucent really cool with all the stones. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. These guys put in some serious work, and they're as talented and as creative as a lot of the guys doing the game design. So yeah, you got to give them props for the terrain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, very cool stuff. So what are you hoping to this is from Angry Spartan, mapeffects.co. Is that another mapping software, Angry? But yeah,
what she was talking about, you shared the comment about. She just couldn't share the link, so I told her I'd share it for her.
Hell yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there as far as like the VTT goes and stuff like that. But the VTT has been crucial for us because it has allowed us to play with legendary game designer James M. Ward.
Oh my God!
So with the illusionist, I always assumed that they were just making people see stuff that wasn't there. But Nay used her illusionist ability to create an actual fire monster. So
it wasn't there. Don't get confused. The real fire monster, fire elemental, did not walk in that corridor. She made it. It was all mental. It's all a mental thing. That's why you get a saving throw against each illusionist spell.
Isn't it something along the lines that, as long as they don't make their saving throw and the illusion appears to that mob person, whichever, they end up taking almost like a mental psychic damage to themselves they do on themselves because they think they're seeing it. So pretty much I turn them insanely crazy for about 3 minutes and let them hurt themselves.
Well, plus when you do fire, if you do a fire elemental when the guy is burning, he gets minuses on his saves because that's just more of the same. Yeah, we used to throw a fireball and then we'd toss illusionary fireballs all day long, and people suffered from them.
Yeah, because they're already burning, so they're already feeling that heat and intensity.
Exactly.
And that's why he failed his save, and why the Juggernaut, the undead Juggernaut that you guys are facing, he didn't really need the save because A, he couldn't feel the heat, and B, when it hit him, nothing happened, and he was, he's even as undead, he's just going to plow right through it. He wasn't the kind of undead that would fear fire.
Yeah, besides, people were just talking to him, so why did he have to worry about taking damage?
Hey, I killed him.
You did put a round through his face. Yeah, that pretty much shut him down.
So we have a comment from Zakora. She said, cool props are awesome, but so far my favorite campaigns have been played with few or no visual aids, so anyone lacking those resources shouldn't be afraid of running a game without them. They're awesome, but not necessary.
That's very true.
Yep, there's that whole theater of the mind thing. So, a lot of people played that way because I know we used to play that way in the Army because you didn't have the room living in the barracks, which were like college dorm rooms back then. You didn't have the room to put tons of miniatures and stuff like that unless you had a house off post. There was no room for any of that. So all you had room for was books, maybe a small dice bag, and you broke out everything, Sesame Street style with a little bit of imagination, Mr. Rogers.
There we go. So that's all that Gary and I ever did was in the beginning because that's all there was.
Yeah.
So we have an explanation of illusion from Sinokin. Someone Nay might know. He said it's like listening to Baby Shark. It's not real, but it does hurt.
my little 7-year-old sings that song all the time.
Oh my God!
Yeah, drove me nuts for the longest time. Oh, she's the one, by the way, Zakara, that has like bajillion dice with the dice addiction.
That's awesome. Yes, Zakara, you were mentioned many times on the stream today. So welcome.
Well, it's her birthday too, so I had to
is it?
Oh, happy birthday.
Before midnight, so Friday night was her birthday.
Oh, that's
cool.
Awesome.
It's only 10 p.m. here.
So it's still your happy birthday.
So you guys are going to continue rating that particular site, or are you going to count your losses and run?
No, I want to
make it dry.
Loot that mofo.
We got to get to that central chamber. There's got to be something good there.
Since
there's so many more monsters to talk to, why should we leave?
Exactly. I want a magic weapon or item. Robertson's wedding band is not cutting it.
I offered you the axe. You didn't take it.
That's right. You're going to be ordered to give that back to him too, by the way.
Nah.
Yeah, well, we'll see, buddy. Yeah,
not by Chucky though.
Oh my God!
I do want to do the lone wolf and cub thing with Benny though. The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
Are you gonna put him in a baby cart, like just like?
I'm getting I'm gonna get a basket.
Oh my god, that is one of my favorite series. I love Okami Ito. That's Nick. Did you ever read those?
I did not. I like Yojimbo, or not Samurai. It's the rabbit one by Stan Sakai.
Oh, Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, Bunny Rabbit Bodyguard. The thing I always liked about Usagi Yojimbo was all the imagery, especially when like the different creatures would die. Like when the cat ninjas would die.
Yeah.
They had like the little skulls float over their head and stuff like that. Oh my god, that was awesome.
Exactly. The only thing better than Usagi Yojimbo and everything else in the entire world is Gru by Sergio Agrani.
Oh my god, Gru.
Yeah, he was nice. I did a card game on Gru.
Did you really?
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Where can we pick up this?
It went out of print 10 years ago.
So
maybe on eBay you might find a deck. But
do you have a copy now?
Well, of course I have a copy.
Can you republish on your own?
No, I wouldn't dream of doing that. You'd have to pay rights back to him again, and he was expensive to deal with.
Would you sell your Gru card game now?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you sell your copy of the Gru card game?
No, never ever. I got to have one copy of everything I ever did.
Why? You need to manage that back catalog so you can start making the bank.
Yeah, right.
So, Nick, would that go up on your shelf, or would that be one of those things where it gets turned around and repurposed?
Well, it's weird. I'm kind of a minimalist, and so I purge constantly, but then I require things I like. And then I have like a couple little cabinets that I will hide things in that I want. But like I live a very Spartan existence. I constantly purge. So I probably like it probably wouldn't be a good idea if it was like the only.
So you're the anti-George Carlin who claimed that a house is a place to keep your stuff while you're out looking for more stuff.
I was raised by a pilot who was first-born Legionnaire and a mom who was a stewardess, and every morning I got up, they said, "Make sure to make your bed because we might sell the house today."
Oh, jeez.
So it was like there's nothing permanent in my life.
Wow.
Everything is in a couple of rifle bags in the back of my truck. I'm ready to go.
That is a way to go. So that way you can just pick up whenever you want.
I know. I'm not being behind. Like this whole country keeps going commie, and I'm going to the Bahamas.
I will say it is definitely very liberating. I remember when we were building our house. We moved into an apartment from a rental, and we literally got rid of everything just on purpose, and it was awesome. It was like living like college years again for just a little bit. It's like not having many possessions.
Like when I go on purges like 2 or 3 times a year, and then like Nicole always says, I'm going to try everything on in my closet, and you tell me what you want me to get rid of. And so like I like the days that I do that, I feel so like liberated and free, and like there's very little clutter in our house, and it's great. I love it.
And you get to look at a hot babe change your clothes all day long.
I do. All day long.
Oh,
sometimes
man.
It's just the both of us naked. It's great.
Oh.
Sounds like a very hard life.
There's hard aspects to it for sure.
I see what you did there.
Oh my gosh, James!
Nice. So, what do you guys think are some of the items that you acquired today? Like, what do you? Let's start with JR. What about the cloak?
I think the cloak is possessed with evil, and I need to get rid of it. Probably.
JR, you're its bitch. Don't worry about it.
Cloaky's gonna kill you.
Cloaky's gonna kill me. He is. I think the serpent belt. I don't know, but that guy didn't look like he was wholesome, so it's probably not good magic either. But
Probably
even
not.
if it's not, we could probably sell it for something back at the Tortoise Bay.
Right on.
So, and we've got a lot of gold we lost when Benny died, so we've got some making up to do.
Yeah, because you only have. Oh, go ahead.
I lost my cask of endless fun.
Yeah, we got lots of those. That's not a problem.
But I'm pretty sure I'm about to score with Black Tabitha, so I got that going for me.
I have that as everything is going down, I go old school and I have like this big giant like hard notebook, and everything gets written down, and I have it like underlined in giant black lettering, Black Tabitha.
Yeah.
Great.
So do we ever find out what Crawley's ring is? That he stole?
It's Robert's engagement ring, or his wedding ring.
It is his wedding ring, but when you do check, it does radiate magic.
Yeah, that's what I want to know, what the magic is, but you won't tell us.
You need an identify spell. That's coming up on your next level, I think.
Yeah, you need to be able to...
what you should concentrate on, Crowley, is looking around, and if anybody's wearing red, that should be interesting to you.
Is he colorblind?
Yes.
No, that's JR.
I think one of them was.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because JR is such a hardcore racist, but he's colorblind.
Oh my God! And on that note, we're gonna close up the castle and try and make a run for whatever border that we can get. Any parting thoughts before we start winding things down?
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Used.
Oh yeah, you were a lot of fun. You were a lot of fun, and even on the After Dark, it was really cool to get an insight into what you do, because paramedics, everybody sees like on the TV shows and stuff like that, and it's like, don't worry, I'll put a Band-Aid on it and we'll transport you to the hospital. There's so much more that goes into that job. So yeah, that's awesome.
I was driving down PCH tonight after stuffing myself full of raw tuna, and a paramedic raced by me, and I could see it. Like PCH, like especially on Friday, is like it's like crazy town. Like all the fat old rich white dudes get out there and drive around in their Ferraris, and then they end up in the opposite lanes, head on collisions, all this kind of stuff. And I could see them going up the highway and around the curve and then park. And I was like, someone's probably having the worst day of their life right now, but there are people going to help them, and those people are not me. And so I'm grateful for paramedics, because if like whatever you say about this country, it's nice that someone will come and help you. That's a pretty cool thing.
And then if they also want to fight, we'll also kick their ass too.
Seems fair.
Yeah, because like you said earlier in the show, you have to save people all the time. Today was all about the murder.
Yes. Yep. We do a lot without police backup. Like we go on slumpers, we go on domestic calls that there's no police available, and we walk in, no weapons, no flak vest, no nothing, and have to settle a situation. And there's more than once that it's somebody's been like gun, knife, baseball bat, and I'm like, let's go, come on. So sometimes we have to be the popo.
You got a question for you, Nay, in the chat.
I go back to work next week. I took this week off, and I go back next Wednesday, and I work Wednesday to Saturday. I am really thinking about pulling seniority, though, since I'm 7th in line of the whole company. Being like, I'm not working Fridays anymore.
Well, you can come back anytime. We had a lot of fun having you.
I'm going to work a way around to come back again for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So, anybody else parting thoughts? James, did you want to profess the fact that 4 feet is really 4 feet?
Everybody knows 4 feet is really 4 feet. But you know what? Maybe accidentally some of these guys are getting a silver sling bullet in their backs.
Parting thought of 4 feet's 4 feet, but when you stand in the 3-foot end of the pool, you got to tiptoe.
Oof.
I really appreciate the pretty woman telling me that. Thank you very much.
Because I'm the short one, I have to tiptoe on the 4-foot side. So shush.
Yeah, all right.
Remember, James. Bill Gates is a power gamer, but he's still the biggest dork on the entire planet.
There we go. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey, thanks for coming out, everybody. Wanted to say, Angry Spartan, thanks for giving out 10 Tier 1 community subs tonight. That was awesome. Really appreciate it. And we want to thank everybody for all the support and love you guys are giving us on every Friday. It's fantastic, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.